One, it's time to start, and two, sooner we start, the sooner we'll stop. So I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's, I have 2:02 or 2:03. No any public comment. We don't have any. First order of business, second order of business is, minutes for approval of the March 10th, March 12th meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 12th? Is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody against? Say no. Okay.
I
passes.
will abstain. I did not read them.
Okay, well, you're not the only one. All right, I think the most upbeat message today will be Nicole. You're first. Tree City update. Do it, Nicole.
Oh, gee, that's a lot of pressure. No, so good news is that we finally heard back from the National Arbor Day Foundation that we are officially Tree City USA for 2023.
And that's
Great.
great.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Yep. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone for helping to pull that together. The email that they sent along actually has a lot of links to like kind of moving forward with the press releases or signage, logos, and different things of that nature. I kind of looked through it a little bit and it seems very reasonably priced. I guess I don't know how we'll make the decision of what we want to order in order to display that we're a tree city again.
How would you like to work this out, Nicole? Do you want to have a subcommittee work with you on recommending things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, perhaps we could think about I mean, do we want to establish today like a reasonable budget? Or that, I guess I'm just not sure how we would go about that. So for example, the sign, to get a new sign, like what is hanging on the DPW building,
Right.
where I refill my water, basically that you can get the sign and it gives you the placards, designating us for the year of 2023. That's about $64
Or
You know,
each one?
for each one.
Okay,
So it seems reasonable. There's also, I don't know, I'm sure everybody's seen the banners that hang, for the veterans in the town. There's something very similar to that, for Tree City. There's a flag that was pretty reasonably priced. So I thought maybe just a few of those items, should be good, and we could probably keep it within $200 to get maybe 2 or 3 items.
I agree. Why don't we decide right now? And then we can vote the money, and then Josh will slip it through with Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have to recommend where they're gonna go so we know what to get?
Well, in terms of the signs, the plaques, where don't we want one on each road entering Bridgewater? So we need what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe? No? Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, that's to count up how many roads enter Bridgewater, but at least on the main, on the main ways. Route 28 and 18.
Yeah. And they're each one costs how much, Nicole?
Yeah.
$60, you said?
I think it was 64. I'm trying to open that again.
What
Yeah,
are
it definitely seemed reasonable. I did
That's
nothing
very
was
reasonable.
shocking in terms of like, oh, wow, that's a lot, so there's a
So signs are $60 each. Why don't we order 4 or 5? What do you think?
probably 5 or 6 because I think we should replace the one on the DPW building.
Okay,
Yeah, let's get crazy and get 6.
okay, let's say 6.
And,
So-
and what does it actually say, Nicole?
Oh, now I can't find it. It's basically just says like Tree City USA, and there's a little a little sticker basically that goes along the bottom that says Bridgewater and the year.
Oh, it'll say 2023 then?
I believe so.
Okay.
Okay. And what else did you, suggest? Oh, wait a minute, why don't we vote on each one individually?
Yeah.
You make a recommendation that we order 6 of the Tree City signs at $60 each, so we're talking about $360 for the signs, correct?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I really want to make sure that I can find the right price because I'm just doing that by memory right now, and now I can't seem to find.
I
I
think
can't
if it's within reason of that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it definitely was. It
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
was. Okay.
Why don't whoever make the motion that we order 6 signs within the reasonable price of $60 a piece. Okay?
Yep.
Can I have a motion like that?
I'll
Okay.
make a motion to order 6 of the Tree City USA signs. The cost is approximately $64 each.
Okay, is
To
there a
be
second to the
confirmed.
motion?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, anybody against? Okay, that passes. Next, Nicole.
The only other thing, oh, I found it. The only other thing was that there are some, like kind of like yard signs. And those, I wondered if we want to display anything at the town hall.
Okay, what do you mean a yard? It's a regular yard sign type size?
Yes, yep, I'll show you.
Well, that's a good point. You know, we do want something at town hall, so when people walk in, they know we're Tree City, you know.
Right. Ray, if you can make me Josh, if you can make me a presenter, I can show the yard sign. There's also a flag. I mean, that would have to go, obviously up on the pole, and there's also a banner. So I mean, I would like to recommend that there also be something in our downtown area. So this would be as everyone's seeing the screen, this would be the
I like
cheapest
that.
option, just these little
I like-
yard signs, but we'd want to
Yep.
renew them every year anyway. There's a
Right,
banner. I don't think we need that. I'm trying to see the pricing for this. I would like to consider getting a few of these.
Those are probably relatively cheap.
Yep.
yeah,
So maybe 1 for town hall and, 2 for the green.
sounds good to me.
Okay.
Can I weigh in on that?
Sure, go ahead, Shirley.
We try not to put signs on the lawn in front of the town hall because it's a hindrance for the maintenance people when they start mowing and things of that sort. And it would become a mess. If we started with one, there would be 100 others who want to put their sign up around election time and every time something is happening. So I would suggest we don't put one in front of the town hall. That's the academy building I'm referring to. But possibly we could put one down by where the D'Angelo's store used to be in that little garden facing the street. I think we could put them on various places. There is coming into South Street on 104, there's an island in the middle of the road. We could put one in there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of places where people travel to get into or through town. And I would suggest we just keep be sensitive to where we put them in terms of how they'll affect maintenance, et cetera.
yeah, you're right, Shirley. Why don't we just order, say, 4 and decide later where we're gonna put them? That fair?
Sounds good.
Now, the store, we can order the signs. You can see the sign here.
Yeah,
And again, it says it comes free with that sticker that would go here, which would basically say how many years we have been, we've received certification as well as our growth award, so we can coordinate that sticker with them. The sign, the street sign, they actually just give you the artwork, and we would just have to go get those done at probably Bridgewater Print.
oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's the lawn signs are pretty straightforward. So I think we would have to get pricing from for things like bolt banners and the yard signs. And I can just customize it here, and then I can download the artwork And then it would, we'd be able to order those, which I
Right.
think they do all the time.
Okay,
So I could get separate pricing from, we could get separate pricing from Bridgewater Print for
Right.
4 to 6 of these signs, and I think
Okay.
that should do it.
The
That-
regular
they-
signs come made 100%, the metal signs.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
could you go back, Nicole? I mean, what was that $64?
That's the
street
sign. That was the sign.
Which side?
The sign that we discussed getting, that we just agreed to have on the roads coming into,
Right. Why is it $64 though? I thought we were talking around 36. No, I'm sorry.
no, it was
no, no.
64, yeah, times
Yep,
6.
yep,
And
that's
so
my-
the
my fault.
sticker, the
Yeah.
sticker is free. We've never gotten a growth award, but we would we would be able to like select a custom sticker for the fact that our city or our town has been certified. So
Yep.
it would have a little sticker down there.
Okay, so what we're doing then is we're ordering, we already voted to order the signs. And
Yes.
we're ordering,
Road signs.
road signs. We're ordering 6 of them. And then we're gonna order the sticker for the yard signs, right?
Which is the sticker is for the road sign. Yep.
I'm
So
sorry,
every
but-
year we only need to buy these once. So then
Right.
every year we can get a new sticker that would update the number of years, or if we ever got a growth award or whatever. So that's kind of an initial investment. And then I would say the yard signs, those don't last too long. So I would say that we'll probably do those yearly, but I'm assuming they should be a fairly lower cost, and we can get a quote from Bridgewater.
And do we need, what do we need to allocate any money for anything right now on the yard sign?
Yes, we do, but has anyone ordered any of these recently and would have a guess of how much they could be?
No, I thought I saw $7.95 on you when you showed the yard sign before.
Oh.
That they maybe I thought you need.
Yeah, no, I did not
Probably
see a
$10
price because you can
piece.
download the artwork.
Hmm.
All right, so what you're saying is we just download the artwork and then we have Bridgewater make the sign.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, so all we're doing then, we've allocated $360 for the road
Road
signs.
signs.
Nothing else right now. What about a
Correct.
flag, Nicole? What do you think?
Yeah, we can either do a street pole banner, like the ones that the veterans have, or the online store does have a flag for $24.95.
Oh,
Where would you
That-
want to fly the flag?
Yeah, that's the question. That would have to go, we might not want to.
Yeah, all right, okay. I hear you. All right.
By the
All right.
way, we also have access to this tree board handbook, which gives some advice to tree boards and committees, and a free brochure. So I'm gonna probably get a couple of these free brochures just to see what those are all about.
Okay.
We might want to just grab it if we're on here buying the road signs, we might for $4.99 add the tree board handbook just so we can.
Yeah, do it.
See.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do
we'll do
that.
that.
In fact, let's order 3 of them. So people.
Okay.
Okay,
So
all right. So I
I'll make a
think we're all
motion
set then.
in addition to the 6 road signs, I'll make a motion to also buy from this online store 3 of the tree board handbooks.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Okay, motion passes. All set, Nicole?
I think so, and I just whomever does the transaction could just add, say 50 of these free brochures, so we don't need to allocate any money for that. So that's good.
Josh, got that?
Okay, yep.
Okay, good,
Excellent.
great. Arbor Day poster contest update. I know you sent out that it's up in the Academy building, which is great.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Josh. Josh was able to hang the posters, so they will be visible to anyone coming to town council tonight. We still haven't heard from the state in terms of they're going to announce it at some point in April, who the ultimate kind of winners are from state competition. So that's all I have on that.
Good. By the way, tonight at the council meeting, Nicole is going to speak to this. And she will tell the public in general, counselors, that we are now a Tree City, which is really important, I think. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's a big deal for Nicole to make that announcement. So tonight she will do that. Okay, anything else on the Arbor Day poster? Okay. Form, any comments on it? Pro, good, bad, ugly?
Oh, the
Pat,
forum.
Form, yeah.
I thought it went I thought it went really well. It
so,
packed full house and the speakers were very interesting.
right, right.
I thought it went well too. I'm sorry, Pat, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, I did reach out to Ryan, the DCR speaker,
Yeah.
because I wanted a little clarification on a couple of trees he recommended to us. And he will get back to me. He apologized that he has the flu. So I just wanted to update you on that.
Okay, that's good. No, I thought it went well too. I think Ryan was amazing, I thought, because he left his presentation at home and he did something in the library. Like, it would normally, if I did that, it would take me 3 days of working at home to do it. He did it in 15 minutes, I think. That was amazing. I thought first speaker maybe could have, in terms of presentation, the slides were kind of small to read. Other than that, I thought it was good. I've heard nothing but good comments too. So hopefully we can do it again sometime. Maybe learn from the past and also do something different. So it's great. I always put it on the agenda, Paul. Just anything new in the forestry at all?
Yes, actually,
Ooh, okay.
I talked with Michael and they've had some changes within the union and they're now proposing some new job descriptions that would encompass probably a tree warden and some forestry personnel. There's some roadblocks before, but there's some personnel changes or whatever, and seems like it's gonna move forward now.
I mean, this is, wait a minute, I'm sorry, how did this start? Is Michael doing this?
Yes. Well, some changes happened within the union, which is where we had a holdup changing job descriptions from the existing job description because we wanted to add the arborist.
Okay,
And then the bucket truck as well, it's being put on a capital worksheet to, at least it'll be in the finance department, they'll know about it, it'll be there on the back burner, so to speak, until they jump.
what you're saying, at least I'm interpreting it the way I want to interpret it. What you're saying is it's moving along. The problem is simply bureaucracy in terms of moving it any faster.
You know, it did move, I will say that, it did move.
Okay, all right. That's good. I mean, that's good. And I keep putting you on the agenda because it's always good to see how things are moving along.
Yeah.
And that's great. I'm more pleased than I thought I would be over this. I thought you'd just say, hey, we're trying some. All right, good. Any comments? Okay, tree mitigation, I take it nothing this time, right? The formula is still gonna be put off. Pat, Shirley? No, Pat? Okay, all right. The main thing I want to talk about is Arbor Day. We have to make decisions now because Arbor Day is 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah. Mhm.
So Nicole had recommended the Williams School for 2 trees and 1 on Cottage Street. I did go see the principal of Matthew Clark. I did talk to him, and he was open to everything we suggested. He did say that he did not want anything on the street. He didn't think it'd be a good idea, but that behind the building would be nice. I thought the best place was that island where we were talking about before, where the stump has to come out and then another tree can go in there. And my thought was that thinking about it today, and that in terms of our ceremony itself, all we need is one tree. And that tree going in, that spot would be ideal. Maybe we can get some students to come out of school and part of the ceremony or something. I'm not, what do you think about that? I'm just throwing that out to you.
But you have to make sure the stump is removed.
Right, that's Paul, that's where Paul's going to,
Right.
yeah.
And the selection of the tree.
Well, that's another point. I'm just
Right.
saying, first of all, are we agreed that we first of all, we have to have a little ceremony as we did last year. We have to do it every year. That spot would be the best spot for the little ceremony. It seems to me it would be. It's almost ideal. If we
Yeah.
agree, Nicole?
I would agree. I think the only point would be that if we're going to do it during school hours, that those are all the visitor, like around that island or visitor spots and or maybe even parking spots. So I think we would logistically need to put some cones up to make sure that there's nobody parking there, and just double check with, Mr. Clark that it's okay to not have those. It's probably only 4 spaces or something, just to give us enough room around to stand, around that island.
Okay,
And then I'm assuming it's fine unless they were having some other activity that day that the parking, that every parking space would be necessary. But other than that, I'm assuming we would just need to coordinate that.
yep,
And,
I can do that.
somebody get out there, early to cone those off or whatever. Actually, I should be able to do that.
I could talk to him about it.
Okay.
All right, whether, Rusty, what do you think? Well, let's go back, wait a minute, let's go, have we agreed that that's the ideal spot, first of all? All right, you
How
want to
big-
do more than one tree?
How big is the present stump that's in there? I didn't look at it.
It looks like,
I have a picture I'll open again.
almost 3 feet
oh.
across, maybe not quite that big. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Just removing a massive stump gets pretty invasive, and I don't know if it's gonna, roots could be well into the parking lot or.
Good
Uh,
point.
Well, what are you saying, Paul? Do you think,
Well, I don't wanna create more damage.
there it is, it's not, maybe it's
Here it
not.
is, Paul. It's right here, this one.
Oh, yeah, I think we do.
And what I was suggesting is this is a parking spot here and where this SUV is. So at the very least, we need to make sure no one parks maybe in those 2 just to give us some room, because we
Right.
should not stand in the fire lane and everything over here. So, maybe to comfortably get the 4 spaces right over here coned off. And yeah, that was the stump.
Will that tree be too close to the existing tree? Now it's kind of growing a little bit. You don't think they grow together? It's just a thought. I don't know what the species are, but it seems like that tree, from the angle I'm looking at, it looks like its branches are already over where that stump is.
I don't think it's all the way over there. I mean, I don't think you want to plant a tree bigger than the one that's there already.
Right. We could stagger. I wonder, this one is more towards the school side. Maybe this one could go a little more towards the parking side, right around here somewhere.
So it doesn't have to go in the exact spot.
No,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
so,
And maybe that's a point of the selection. Maybe we want one that is a little bit more, vertical, and one that doesn't have a big spread to allow for this other one to keep spreading.
well,
Hmm.
one way or the other, we can get that stump out if we want to use that spot.
Yeah, I'll go there and dig it and look them out.
Okay. Okay, then what kind of tree do we want and where are we gonna get it?
Right.
Shirley, you have any comment on that?
We could try the Weston Nursery down here in Bridgewater to see if they would be willing to sell to us. I really would like the town to be able to establish some kind of a relationship with them, because it's so convenient for getting trees. And we don't have to pay a lot to get somebody to drive down to a 50-mile trip to some nursery. But once we decide on the tree, then I can go down and ask them if they could provide that for us.
Okay,
I think they'll definitely sell to us, Shirley. They do, from what I understand, they do, one public day a week, they'll sell to the public.
I think it's a Saturday morning that they let the public in.
Yeah, but us being a municipality, I think we'd get in just like contractors.
I would assume we can, but I have to talk to them and find out. First of all, I have to know what kind of a tree we're bargaining for.
well, I think we have to decide that now.
I'm looking at the tree list and I'm trying to find one that's not terribly tall if we have to consider that other tree. I suspect the width goes with the height. If it's not too tall, it won't be too wide. But the dogwood appears to
Yeah.
be a good choice.
Are there any flowering trees that we would consider there?
Dogwood flowers, right?
Dogwood does, yeah.
Yeah. And we're
Any
not
cherry
going with
trees?
cherry, yes. And I think there was some negative comment about the cherry trees by our speaker. However,
Right,
I think we need to separate the point that he was definitely trying to talk about street trees
that's right.
and also confirm that a cherry could be a nice tree on a site, in a park. So I think that could be possible too. I would agree, something flowering, either the dogwood or the cherry,
Mhm.
not the beech, because we are not proposing those right now, given that disease.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, we need a recommendation then. If we go, first of all, do you all agree that Western Nurseries is the place to look? If we agree to that, then we probably should pick 2 trees just in case they don't have one of them that we want. You want,
I'm looking at my list here and flowering cherry is not native, so I think we're trying to stay with native or indigenous trees.
What was the name, Pat?
Flowering cherry.
Uh-huh.
so you're saying the dogwood, right? Then
Yes, yes,
that's pretty standard in this area too.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, if they don't have a dogwood, what do you want to do? Which one? I'm assuming they will, but just in case, because we're not going to meet again until after the Arbor Day, so we should have a backup tree just in case.
Serviceberry looks like it's not too tall.
But it's not very pretty.
Okay, I don't know that tree.
Shirley, do you have a thought?
I would suggest we go with either dogwood or a flowering cherry, and we can see what they offer in the way of flowering cherries and pick out something that would be appropriate.
Sound good, people?
Good to me.
Sounds good.
All right, so we decided that we will look at Western Nursery, that we will go with the dogwood first, and if not, the flowering cherry. Okay, who's going to make the mission down there?
Did anybody come up with a price that we can afford to pay for this tree?
I think whatever market price is what it is. I don't really know where we can negotiate that.
Well, market price ranges depending on the size of the tree.
Yeah,
We're probably talking $200 or $300, I'm assuming.
Minimum.
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
Minimum, okay.
yeah, listen, we remember, we just allocated $6,000 for the senior center for what, 2 or 3 trees there that are obviously going to be planted and everything taken care of, but I expect we can, why don't you somebody make a motion that we buy either first of all, what I'm hearing is that we first look for the dogwood. If they don't have that, we then go to the flowering cherry, and we spend up to a particular price.
I make a motion that we, buy a tree not to exceed $300.
Want to go a little higher than that, just in case?
I just think you wanna get something mature enough. If you
Yeah.
have Really
Yeah.
small tree
Yeah.
there. It's, the place is surrounded with kids and, kids not purposely, but they're gonna hang on it, they're gonna tug on it, they're gonna pull on it, it's just a
Right.
beast.
How about 1,000?
Whoa,
I'm sure you'll come in much under that.
Yeah, I'm imagining they're gonna be, it's in the like maybe $400 or $500 range.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Shirley, do you want to change that motion?
not to exceed $400.
Hmm,
Go higher.
5,
I really think we're all right with that price.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
if you hold
concerned
off
with.
on something that, there's plenty of money there. Go
Yeah.
Yeah,
higher,
we
you know,
have
that's
tons
great.
of money. If 400 is fine, if we can't exceed, I would go much higher,
500.
just so we don't get stuck with no tree on Arbor Day, that's all. Remember, this is our last meeting to vote on something like this. I
So
would
is this for the one tree we're looking at, a dogwood for no more than $400 or $500? Is that what you're saying?
what I'm thinking, Shirley, is that if you give the option of going to say 800, it will probably end up like $400 or $500, but just in case we have a beautiful tree there that we want to get in at 650. $250 difference from 400 is not going to break our bank. Why not just do it?
Okay with me.
All right, motion again. Somebody.
could we clarify the species of dogwood, because I have crossed out, I can't recall exactly why. The Coosa dogwood is crossed out. Pagoda dogwood is definitely a native, so let's call it a pagoda dogwood when we make the motion.
Okay, or maybe give the person that's actually purchasing tree the option of deciding which dogwood, and then maybe that's simpler. No?
Well, the Coosa is not native, for one thing.
All right, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. So I just need a motion. First, we need a motion, first a motion on how much money we can spend on a tree. Let's get that straight first.
Motion to look for a pagoda dogwood not to exceed $800.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Or is, okay. Okay, now, where are we? Oh, didn't we have a backup tree? Didn't we say we have a backup tree just in case they didn't have the Pagoda dogwood,
Flowering cherry.
Cherry.
flowering cherry?
Or the only other thing is that there's obviously experts working there, so they may recommend what they would consider an equivalent to the dogwood too, depending on, if they didn't have a cherry, so.
You make a good point, Nicole. And again, what's going on in my mind is I don't want to tie us down if we
Right.
close this meeting down that we don't have a tree on Arbor Day.
Right.
How about a motion giving the persons that actually go there and get a tree to have the option of changing the tree based on their recommendation possible? Is that fair enough? If somebody goes to Western Nursery and we need a flowering cherry or a dogwood, and they say we don't have that, but we have this, which is.
Yeah. That's what I'm imagining they would do.
Yeah.
And you could even give a little description of where we're putting it and the conditions, and they
Yeah.
would, they should know, oh, don't do that there, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, true. Now-
Ray, would it be, just so you don't have 100 motions, would it be helpful if Shirley just made a friendly amendment to her motion to say purchase of a pagoda dogwood or comparable tree?
Okay.
Yep.
Shirley, you just made that motion, right?
Yes, I just did.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Okay, who's gonna do it? How about two people?
So, I don't know that I'm gonna be here on every day, one. Two, how would you feel about a local company volunteering to do it? A tree company, let me know.
Could
you
you
do-
repeat that, Paul?
I knew ahead of time, I don't think I'm gonna be here, and I had just mentioned it to a tree company, if they'll be interested in joining the celebration or volunteering, some time to plant a tree, or all three trees for that matter. And I had some, positive feedback that they said they'd be interested, they would possibly even donate a tree.
Well, first of all, you said they're volunteering to do the work?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You're not gonna be here when? On the 26th?
Yes,
Um,
100%, yeah, I have a wedding, I'm just not sure when we'll leave it.
just a clarification, Paul, are we gonna take the stump out just before?
Yeah,
the plant?
that's something I'll do prior.
So it doesn't matter when you take the stump out,
No, I'm gonna try to do that like yesterday.
but you're gonna have a hole there, aren't you? Is
I'm
that?
gonna backfill with something.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Uh. When are you leaving? Paul?
The 26th, I have an event, just not sure when we're gonna leave,
So
so
you're gonna be around all this week and next week, right?
I'm off all next week.
Okay,
So I can get the stump done prior to that, or have one of the guys do it. We just. I don't wanna sound like I'm complaining, but we're really shorthanded. We lost, 3 personnel in the last 3 weeks.
whoa. What was I gonna say now?
Wow.
Who's going to deliver the tree? We gonna pick it up or are they gonna deliver it?
If they would include it in their charge, I'd say let them bring it.
Okay,
If somebody's gonna pay for it anyway, I'll find out what their cost is. And, maybe the tree company that you're referring to, Paul, or perhaps, we could ask the town landscaper, who is Rick Ellis, if he would be able to pick it up, or I don't know whether the highway department could pick it up.
Yeah, we can pick up a tree, I'm sure.
Okay.
I also tried reaching out to Jim Smalley from Recreation Parks and Rec. Yeah, I mean, he probably should be involved anyway, it's a lot of parks we're dealing with. He's got the real green thumb as far as, he's 20-something years taking care of that golf course, if anybody knows how to do it right, it's him. Thoughts?
so, okay, wait a minute, let's just see where we are. I'm losing this. We have the tree, we wanna get at Western Nursery. We're gonna have the stump taken out. We will have them either deliver it or we will pick it up. If we're gonna pick it up, we're not sure who's gonna pick it up, but we're
I
gonna get.
will, I will commit to the stump removal. I will commit to getting the tree there. I just don't wanna make a commitment on planting the tree. But if
Okay.
I get somebody, I have 2 suggestions of people. Should we need to use them?
Shirley, have you actually dealt with Western Nursery before?
Not recently,
But do you know
not
people
since
there?
they've been in Bridgewater. This will be the first venture to the place in Bridgewater.
All right, can you call them up and,
I would go to them. I wouldn't call them. I would go to them
is there somebody there all the time?
during the working hours.
Okay,
Right? Can the tree be planted ahead of time? And then just have your little ceremony at the tree the day of?
Yes, why not?
Sure.
good idea. Good idea.
Is that possible for you to do, Paul?
It might make things a lot easier.
Okay,
Yeah, let me talk with Jim at Rec too. I'd like to coordinate with him because even the ones we did last year, he's the one that kept up with the watering and made sure they were cared for. And I think that's a commitment he could probably help us with.
Now Shirley, usually will they just bill the town?
Yes,
Okay,
All right,
I got a suggestion. If you want, I will go to Weston Nursery tomorrow. I will, because we have to set them up as a vendor as well to get the billing and all that. I will get all that set up, get the W-9, all that stuff. So then we can just go at our leisure whenever we want and basically put it on our account.
great.
sounds great. That's
Yeah,
good.
that would be good.
Yeah,
Because I am thinking, you know, that we definitely want to, we have all this money and we want to plant trees, but we don't have a mechanism to, you know,
Right.
to do so yet. So that would be one big step. Because it does sound like if the Parks and Rec staff is open to it too, you know,
Sure.
maybe there'll be a time when they're going to be ready to replace that one in the Cottage Street playground and, you know,
you want, Paul, I'll go with you. If you feel you want somebody else to go with you, it's up to you. Like, I have time tomorrow. Just let me know.
I just figure I'll pop in when I'm on the boat and get the
Okay, all right, that's
get the
fine.
paperwork and
All right, just let us know then what's going on.
get it to the finance department and
All right, my question then, is there anything else we have to vote on to put Arbor Day in place? Because this is our last meeting to do so. Oh, time. What time
Yeah.
do you want to do it?
right.
10 o'clock?
Hmm.
11 o'clock? What do you think?
You
10:30?
probably should check with the school to see when there's no kids at recess or kids are at recess, so.
Yeah. Well, we have to decide on the time. No, we don't have to, well, I guess. Well, okay, do you want to at least leave it up to me or somebody to, I'm gonna talk to the principal again, just to let him know what's going on. In fact, I emailed him already today saying that. I would get
Yeah,
that.
and Ray, I'm gonna have to post that as a meeting anyway, so it's gonna be publicly posted anyway, so you don't have to decide right now.
Did you say what? It has to be what?
It's going to be posted as a meeting,
Right.
so you don't have to decide right now, because it's already going to have public notice.
We'll just let you know what time, eh, later.
Yeah, once you talk to them, just shoot me an email and then
Okay.
I'll set it up.
Okay, fine.
And Ray, if it's pouring, we do the ceremony anyway.
Yeah, you bring up, well,
I'm sorry.
you're not supposed to say that, Pat.
maybe did we have a rain date last time?
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. And it was a beautiful day.
It was.
Well, if it's Arbor Day, don't we have to do it on Arbor Day?
No, no, we don't.
No?
No, we can do it at any time during the year, just, you know, basically stating it's nice to do it on the day.
Okay,
Let's
Josh,
just try to do it on the day.
if
Yeah.
we have to change the date because it's pouring rain, can we do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just need 2-day notice.
Okay. Fair enough. So what we'll do is if it's, the forecast is pouring rain, what do you want to do before or after that day? It's Friday normally.
probably Monday or something.
Okay,
After.
so the 26th is our date. The 29th will be the rain date, right? Agreed?
Right, right.
Okay.
Yes.
What else? Anything else we're missing?
The only other thing, if we would like, if it's during school hours, we could ask Mr. Clark if those 3 students, the 3 coloring contest students want to come out and join.
Definitely. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, I mean, there's so many kids in that school. I don't know how you could put a cap on it. You know, even
Yeah.
one class would just be, I feel like that's a nice little break
Right.
point, just saying, let's have those 3 come out.
All right,
So-
so we have decided that Arbor Day will be sometime in the morning on the 26th with the rain date on the 20. Excuse me, on the 29th.
I think 10 o'clock would be good, Ray. I mean, I'd like
I
that.
do too, but
Yeah.
10, 10:30, 11, not earlier, not later.
No, I have to be somewhere at 11 that day.
All right. Tonight at the council meeting, Nicole is going to tell everybody we're a tree city, and I will say that we're going to have an Arbor Day event on the 26th, okay? All right.
27.
You're gonna check out with Western
No,
Nursery, both in terms of what they're going to do and if they have the trees, right?
So, just to clarify that. I'll set up the account. Is Shirley, are you still going to go to Weston and talk trees with them?
Sure.
I'd
Okay.
rather,
Do we need to go at the same time?
I don't think so. I'm just gonna go make sure we have an account set up, so when the decision's made or whenever in the future. We just go in and say, Town of Bridgewater, and we have an account.
Sure, and ask them when I can come down to talk species with them.
Okay, I imagine you can go anytime, but I'll double check.
Once
might
you
wanna
got the
check this-
account set up, I think it'll work anytime. Otherwise, it's just for the retail crowd that I think they open on Saturday morning,
Just say you're a representative from the Town of Bridgewater.
Yeah.
right?
You
Yep.
may want to check if they have the dogwood when you go there, Paul, that's all. All right, anybody else? Are we okay? Going once? Going twice? Boom, okay. I'm tired. Last thing on the, well, no, not the last thing on the agenda. The tree ordinance. Pat, Shirley have done great work in terms of coming up with the possible revisions. Do you want to go through it now? Do you want to wait till the next meeting, or do you want to set up a special meeting? We have two other things.
Josh, do you have it available to everyone on the screen?
Yeah, I can share screen.
Is this something you should have I just. You're running on 10 minutes to 3. I don't know if we're gonna be a half hour going through this, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have time, but I'm wondering, Josh, for the sake of making it easier for a group to work on edits of this document, I think it's like 7 pages or so. Is it possible for you to, number one, date the document, and number two, number each page, so that we can refer to the page and we can all be on the same page?
Yeah, I thought I
Mhm.
added page numbers
Add
last
those.
time, but I will double check.
Okay, do you want to set up a special meeting, or do you want to set the next meeting aside for this? I'm open to either one.
Well, I would say if you have a light agenda for the next meeting, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can-
okay, Pat, you too? Okay,
Yeah, if we can fit it in, that's great.
okay, why don't we? I'll try to make this the major item on the May agenda, and we will spend as much time as necessary to at least go do a good first reading, because I think Pat and Shirley have done good work in terms of possible revisions. Yeah, Pat.
We had suggested that the sections from chapter 290 be integrated into section 6.5 of this proposed ordinance. So if that could be done before that next meeting, we could review it at that time.
Okay.
By,
Uh,
by Josh and Bill. If you're agreeable.
we have 6.5 in here.
I know, but it doesn't cover all of the items or important details that are in our current zoning.
Look at, just a suggestion. It sounds like we will spend quite a bit of time at the next meeting on this and go into another meeting also. I don't think we're going to be able to finish this in one meeting.
Mhm.
Maybe we could start that, sure, Pat, but probably have to continue that in the following meeting.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else on the ordinance? There are two other things, the recommended tree list. Pat suggests, volunteered to look at the list that we have that we've already submitted to the planning board to change. And now that Ryan has chopped up our list,
Right.
yeah, do you want to bring that up now, or do you want to wait on that also, Pat?
It's pretty brief, so I can bring it up quickly right now. He recommended a few trees come out of our list and then, you know, highlight whether they would be street trees or not, which I can easily do. I'm waiting for his call back, you know, once he feels better, just to confirm a couple of native trees that he recommended, or even keystone, because those are pretty important, at least in the environmental universe.
Okay, so we're not gonna make a decision now then, no?
No,
Okay.
no, I'd
Right.
rather wait to hear from him.
Okay, fine. The last thing, if Paul will come back, is the sidewalk.
Oh, right. That repair.
Do, 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 do. Come on back, Paul. There he is. Paul, you're the last thing on the agenda, I think. And that is, did you bring up the idea of the sidewalk issue?
Yes, so, Broad Street. Between Perkins Ave and the Crispy's restaurant. There's 3 street trees right there. They're all rather large. I wouldn't say they're dead by any means, but what's happening is I think they're the wrong species for the area, and the roots are buckling the sidewalk, the
Oh,
concrete sidewalk panels. And it's happening all over downtown, but in that particular area, we just had a pretty bad accident where somebody fell, and got pretty hurt. And insurance is involved. So I need to replace the sidewalk in that area, the concrete. But it's only gonna happen again, that's the problem. We're gonna spend a lot of money to replace concrete to have it lift again, and you know, they shift, they become uneven, and the people trip. So it's sort of been recommended to remove the trees, although I know the tree committee doesn't want to hear that. We can either remove them and just concrete the whole thing and try to do something different, or leave the squares but pick a different species. Thoughts?
do you know what species is there now?
You know what, I don't.
Let me throw something into the mailu first. When we approved Perkins Foundry site, they've agreed to do all the sidewalks. Now, I'm not sure how far down they're doing it, but they're going to do, they may be up to the tracks, I don't know. But I know they've agreed to replace all the sidewalks there.
Yeah, I agree. I did, Michael brought that up to me, but we're gonna be on the other side of the tracks. We're gonna be on the south side of the train tracks.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, what do you recommend then, Paul?
Me personally, I think they should come out.
Cement.
You guys are gonna put something new in there, or?
You know,
Paul,
my-
has the sidewalk buckled so much that the whole side, all the sidewalk panels would need to be replaced as part of that tree planting?
Regardless, I need to replace the sidewalk.
Okay, because I was going to say, that's the time to do it so that we can make sure that we get some
Right.
soil under some permeable material under the sidewalk to give
And I
those
think
roots
if
room to
Stump
grow.
out completely, where if, it would be hard to dig, and if the sidewalk was there, we'd have to grind them, which would be near impossible.
Right, okay.
So they either come
Well-
out completely and we concrete the whole thing, or we leave the tree wells and we pick something more suitable.
Paul, is there any kind of a device of receptacle of some sort that could go around the tree in order to save the tree, could go around it as a barrier that people wouldn't be able to trip over or walk into?
I'm aware of. It's not that they're tripping on the tree. It's that the roots are causing the concrete to lift.
Right.
I mean, if the concrete were trimmed so that the lifted part were trimmed away and replaced by some kind of a small fence or something of that sort that would encircle the area so that there wouldn't be a possibility of tripping over any concrete or roots or anything else.
No, it's not, you'd have to go down there and look at it, the sidewalk is about roughly 10 feet from the building to the curbing. And all the way across and in each direction, it's just lifting and twisted and it's, it's really a hazard in the safety
Okay.
at this point.
I understand.
If it's a hazard, then
Right.
gotta
Yeah.
come
I
out.
mean, ultimately, we're ripping out the sidewalk and replacing it. It just would be a shame to spend all that money and then have it happen again. And I think
Well-
trees, just like the ones around the common on the outskirts, they're too big, they haven't been maintained forever, they're growing into the buildings, they're dropping, making a mess.
So what you're recommending we take them out?
Can you put a Google Earth image up at all?
Well, it would seem as though we have to confirm how much work they're gonna do, that Perkins group, you know?
Well, yeah, certainly if they're gonna pay for it, then we're gonna hold off, but
Yeah,
if they go on that far.
Paul, does Bridgewater have a standard detail for a street tree construction and sidewalk?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I do deal with this a lot, at work and many, it ends up being cities, but honestly, like our downtown area is probably the equivalent that there'll be, a very specific detail for the way the sidewalk and the tree, need to be installed, that I'm wondering if maybe this Perkins project is a way to kind of get that standard going, making sure that they, are installing it properly so that this doesn't happen again. And or we could continue to like use the same detail for all of these replacements that I think probably do need to happen. I do see what I when I walk down there, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to see if I can get the aerial.
Unfortunately, because it's really all over downtown, so.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know,
what we're
Paul-
finding, and this has started with probably a city like Boston, what we're finding is that there is a new way of
Mhm.
planting trees that can be street sidewalk trees and not create the problem that we're facing now. We didn't know that procedure before, and therefore we're living with those earlier planted trees that are uprooting the sidewalks. We've got to change the way which we plant trees, and I don't know if it's possible to make that change with the current trees, or whether we're going to end up having to take out all of the trees that we have and start from scratch. I would hope not the latter, but it certainly is something we have to consider.
So those 3 trees
The
right
three?
beside you.
Oh, right where
okay.
there's a car
Yeah.
in the way.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, wow,
Oh, I
I'd
see.
be ashamed to take those out, yeah.
yeah, those are nice big ones.
So
Huh.
we patched some asphalt on there and some concrete in places just to try to take the sharp edges away, but it's
Yeah,
it's not good.
boy,
So you
So-
don't think that there's a way that we could sort of fill in that groove and make it angular so that people wouldn't trip on it, but it would certainly not be level?
Well, once you start messing with it, I mean, you have to meet some type of standard for ADA as well.
Yeah.
You have to imagine the baby stroller or the wheelchair or,
Mhm.
There's the rubberized pavement that they put down over the roots sometimes as a temporary fix. That maybe could be an option to kind of try to smooth things out. But I would recommend that the that we wait maybe until there's somehow funding, whether it's through a grant or some of the potential downtown redevelopment that might be happening, if there's a way to, address the whole block and, literally reconstruct this whole section.
Right, right.
Well, wait a minute, Paul, are you saying something should be done now, or can we wait?
Yeah, I don't know.
So. Per the insurance company's recommendations, they want to see the sidewalk repaired, replaced.
Oh, okay. The
The trees, I mean, they can stay, it's just. To spend that money and have it happen again. I mean, I don't know, I mean, there's a tree's never done growing, so. Actually, if you go further up, we did another piece. That we had to do last year or a few years ago. I don't know, I'm not even showing the image, but.
In front of the bridge, the
No,
print.
we did some in front of Emma's as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks good, but that's a different, it seems like it's worse. That condition doesn't seem as bad as it was down the
Right.
other block before
Because the trees are
Crispy's.
much smaller too.
True. Yeah, those are nice big ones.
Oh,
That's
it would
really
be a
nice.
Boy, those
Thank-
trees look so
thank-
nice there.
shame to lose them, you're right.
Yeah, it would be. So we have to do something now, eh, Paul, you're saying?
I have to do something with the sidewalk, I mean, we can. I guess we could leave them, I mean, it took a long time to do the damage it did.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, because I agree, you like the trees. I personally think they're too big for the location.
But it'll look
They look-
terrible.
Yeah, they look nice. They look healthy somehow, at least from the picture.
I know, considering where they are, they shouldn't be that healthy. With all the road salt and crap they get.
That area needs those trees, it's just otherwise so ugly.
What's our timeline, Paul, in terms of making a decision?
No. Good question. Let me over the next week or so, see if I can talk with Michael and see if, if there's more to that Perkins thing, or if there's not, or we just leave them as is and remove
Look at
the report.
The Perkins thing, they've been fairly cooperative as a developer.
Right,
They've changed the plan actually quite a bit from what they first did, and their mitigation is the sidewalk, basically. That's part of the mitigation. Now, my point is that the mitigation is not, it's not a huge burden on them at all. I could see them helping, at least in some way, to
oh, okay,
minimize the problem for us. If we could just wait a little bit, I mean, Paul, I remember where my brother was in LA before he passed away. The sidewalk on his street, all the sidewalk, it was up. You could easily trip on it. The trees had pushed everything up. It was horrendous compared to what the picture you just showed. And the what you just showed was nothing compared to what LA was like. And they did nothing, of course, about it. But I'm wondering whether.
So the problem is, if this was a sidewalk on, Grange Park or Crescent Drive, it's not a ton of traffic on it, foot traffic. This is downtown, so
But it looks like there's only one section that's really bad.
yeah, I mean, we can certainly do it and leave the trees, it can be done.
yeah,
I don't,
Nicole-
when you pull the concrete up, those roots could be exposed right there. Are we gonna damage them, are we gonna, stress the tree or?
I guess all we can do is give you a recommendation. We can't tell you what to do, obviously. But
is that fresh stone you're showing, Nicole?
This is what I wanted to show you. They're doing a lot in Boston, and we've done this on several projects where we use this material. It's called Flexi Pave. It's like rubberized aggregate that's like similar to what they use in the playgrounds, for example.
Yeah, it
It's
stays.
porous, it's completely permeable. The
Yeah,
water goes
right.
right through, so you can put it over the roots where they're protruding And then, you know, potentially use that to also like kind of raise the sidewalk and then use this material around, because this meets ADA standards as well. So if you build it flush to the edge of the concrete sidewalk, you know, the wheelchair, the bike, whatever could go right over this as well. It doesn't move around. If you step on it, you can feel it's a little soft, but it's stabilized. So it is a standard detail. This happens to be from Rochester, New York, but there's a standard detail in Boston and Worcester. You know, most of the cities are now adapting this detail.
I've seen
Hmm.
that in playgrounds, Nicole. It's wonderful stuff. It really is really nice stuff. Yeah.
And you go and pour, you know, pour a hose on
Yeah.
this, it goes right through. So the
Yeah.
tree roots get plenty of water through. It doesn't change the way it is now where they have exposed dirt or mulch or whatever.
What do you think, Paul?
I think it's great, but it doesn't, what happens when the root starts to grow up, you know, or it starts to create a hump? You just put more, you thicken the pavement over it, it's still has the option to pop up.
It may, but I think the point
Yeah.
is you kind of do this in concert with maybe, I think the whole sidewalk might need to be lifted, you know,
Mhm.
might need to be reconstructed to get it a little bit higher. Cause that
Mm.
curb didn't look like it was 6-inch, it looked pretty low. It looked like I mean, but then again, you're stretching the project. You'll have to probably replace the curb and the sidewalk and,
And the sidewalk is, you know, meets the state height to go into the buildings and
right.
all kinds of variables in there.
It would need to be
Well,
like
why don't we do
a
this?
design. Yeah,
Why don't we elect or vote? Sounds like everyone wants to keep the trees, so we'll vote to keep the trees. I'll repair what I have to repair with the trees staying.
Hmm.
Um. I'll confirm that with Michael because he had the. claim of the-
My personal goal would be to try to keep the trees, but as I said before, it's not our decision to tell you what to do. If you think that, for whatever reason, you have to do more than what we're recommending, then that's your call, Paul.
You remember way back, we had those metal, steel, cast iron, whatever they were, the rings that went around the trees, the grates. We had piles of them out back at the highway department here. Surely, I'm sure you recall.
Yeah.
I don't think we found those to be particularly helpful.
No,
because
they just
the
lifted,
tree roots would lift them as well.
right?
So, I think what Nicole is pointing to is a newer and better approach. And probably if we're going to keep the trees, the only other way to do that would be to lift the sidewalk and the curbing, which gets to be an expensive deal. And maybe we need to look at some outside source of money to do that. Because it's not just that area, as you said, Paul, there are other spots of downtown that need the same treatment.
yeah.
Paul, are you limited by the insurance money as to what you can do to the project?
I'm sorry, George.
Are you limited by the insurance money as to what you can do to this project?
No.
No, okay. Well, any thoughts?
I think our first choice would be to try to keep the trees.
I agree.
Choice number 2 would be what we can do to make the sidewalk safe.
Yep,
I think I can remove the existing concrete, re-pour it in place, and it'll probably, quite honestly, it could be fine for quite some time. If the trees, you know, when they continue to grow, it could lift it again, or, you know, it's probably a combination of the roots and or water getting under there and freezing and lifting the concrete, or broken concrete, then, you know, lets water intrude and then it
Hmm.
freezes and lifts, so I'm fine with leaving them and redoing it.
I am too. That
Unless
sounds good
we
to me.
open it up and find something different.
All right,
But I would like to recommend that somehow we keep a conversation open with Michael and with, you know, those that are trying to kind of move things forward in the downtown area, because this might be the worst block, but it's, you know, across the whole downtown, it is a problem that probably needs a bigger solution, potentially linked to when and if there are other roadway improvements that happen as part of this revitalization plan over time.
I'll email Bob
Yeah.
Rubin
Yeah, but that was what I was thinking, because I mean, that is, that, you know, that is the time to do it. I think, you know, temporary fixes are one thing, but it's a, holistically, it's a problem. We're gonna lose all the trees, you know, if we don't either, you
Yeah,
know,
I'll
find
email
a
him.
solution to protect them.
I know he's trying
I
to,
know.
he's working with a developer for the old, Broad Street project, so I'll email him.
Yeah.
Good point, Nicole.
Even just, you know, establishing a consistent approach as well. If somebody's gonna go do a brand new nice sidewalk and put street trees in, we should probably make sure that they are installing them, you know, based on what everyone knows today is the proper way to install a brand new tree with plenty of
Mhm.
soil underneath the sidewalk. Um, yeah,
Right.
there's definitely ways to make sure they can live a long time and not have that happen in the future, basically. There's a rule of thumb that you need 1,000 cubic yards of soil per street tree, and usually that can't all fit in the pit. Therefore, it does typically need to actually extend underneath the sidewalk. So
Mhm.
there's definitely um, details that other municipalities have sort of piloted actually and are all in a pretty good place now that they're moving forward with them. You know, it's the Bostons and the New York Cities and everything, but I think we can take that cue for the downtown area
Mhm.
where we've got a similar condition, literally a building and a sidewalk and a road. There's no space in between.
Yeah. What did you call that product, Nicole?
Well, that was the Flexi Pave.
What-
That is a little bit more of like a retrofit, but there's enough, you know, I think just the detail with the proper amount of soil would be
Mhm.
kind of a new construction
Yeah.
way to make sure that the tree will not buckle up the sidewalk, making sure it's
Yeah.
got enough air and water and room to grow where we
Uh-huh.
want it to.
Good.
Okay, good. Anything else? Okay, just to make sure I'm on the right wavelength. Paul, you're gonna go to the nursery soon, tomorrow, next day, is that right? Shirley, you're gonna follow up, right?
Yep,
You
correct.
you want me to come with you, Shirley?
If you wish, I'd love it.
If you want, I will. If not, no big deal. I'm free from now. I just finished my class today, so okay. Then anybody else? Very good.
Very good.
Moving forward, but it's slow, but as long as we're moving forward, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn is a second to the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.